goodness. Oh, wow! In your life, have you seen anything like that?
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Cut Line, a golfing podcast brought to you by the TAB. My name is Karl, joined in studio by Paul Moati. Paul, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good.
It's been a couple of weeks.
It has been. It's been a big break, to be fair. But we're back after a wonderful Open Championship.
It was.
And there's plenty going on in the golf world.
There is. We weren't going to do a show this week, and then I looked at the calendar, and while the tournaments aren't, they don't jump off the page by themselves, there are a couple there that probably worth talking about. So
big time.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah. And we are joined by Patrick Jones. Pat, how are you, mate?
I'm all right. Yep. As you can see, joining from a remote location. So entering about day 10 of isolation, but have been able to watch plenty of golf and league and cricket and every other sport on the planet. So what do they say about clouds and silver linings?
Yep.
Yeah, tough scenes.
I hope you get rid of that monkeypox ASAP.
Oh. Yeah, we're seeing a specialist about it. So
yeah, good.
And the cut line is back, folks. All right, we'll rip straight in. Tony Finau, our man, Pat. He's a winner again.
Oh, you love to see it.
Came from 5 shots back to win by 3, and what could possibly only be described as the greatest win of the season.
Oh,
do you agree?
Wow.
Paul obviously wasn't on.
No, I wasn't.
Were you, Pat?
No, I'd left Tony out of my plan last week. I did have a few little bets on the 3M Open, knowing I was going to be watching a lot of it, but didn't manage to find Tony this week, unfortunately. But it's always fun to see him sort of racking up the birdies down the stretch like that, even though if he did try and make it a bit interesting on 17 and 18. But yeah, just obviously someone you're always going to be happy to see get the W, Tony, that's for sure.
Yeah, a nice comfy bogey on the last to win by 3.
Poor old Scott.
Scott Piercy, yeah, held a 54-hole lead and tournament record at 18 under. I think Tony won 17 under. And Piercy, final day, 76 to finish 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th, might have been 10th, actually. Did you watch much of it, Paul?
No, I didn't. I watched a wee bit of the final, late final round, but I didn't watch anything leading up to that. So I missed Scott Piercy playing some very, very good golf in the first 3 rounds, but saw him play some it wasn't even average golf, to be fair, in the final round. I think he shot a 66 in the 3rd round and a 76 in the final round. So there's a 10-shot swing. That's something that I can do.
That's tough to do.
No, it's not. I can go from a 95 out to 105 quite easily in the space of a day. So,
what about the other way? 85 to 95?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
That never happens. But yeah, felt sorry for him. Obviously, the blister. I mean, it's not an injury where you go, oh, but you know, with golf, if you had a blister on anywhere,
there's nothing worse.
No, and it's always playing on your mind. You can, as you're setting up for your swing, as you're going through your swing, there's that reminder that it's not quite right, and so. Although it's not like a pulled hammy or a calf, we all know how calves can go. They're nasty injuries. It's still, that would have been very, very bothersome. And I can understand him shooting going around in 76.
Pat, I know you love the deep dark thing that is Twitter. And I first saw this on Twitter. I didn't watch a lot of the golf this week, but I saw him limping around with one shoe in his hand, and it was being compared to MJ's flu game and Tiger at Torrey. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the blister.
Yeah, I was actually my mind immediately sprung to Buck Shelford when we were talking about this sort of thing. Obviously, one of the more heroic sport.
We're talking scrotums.
Yep, that's what I was thinking of. No, but I mean, MJ and Tiger won when they had their flu. if you're going to make a blister seem like a broken leg, at least, hold on and don't shoot 76 on the final day, Scott.
Oh,
Wow.
that's so bad. And it just shows how dumb golf is.
I feel for the guy.
Yeah.
It's been years since he's been up towards the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was his chance the week after the Open Championship. So the field not as strong.
Very weak.
As you usually see on the PGA Tour.
The blister has inspired me to go and have a look at some of the weirdest injuries in sport. Before I go down my list, I'll throw to you boys. Have you got anything that you're aware of? Patrick, I'm sure you do, the wealth of knowledge, sporting knowledge you hold in terms of weird injuries.
I mean, if we're sticking to golf, there was obviously the DJ, did he fall down the stairs situation at the Masters that immediately jumps to mind.
That's a controversy. That's a controversy.
Yeah. I think my favorite one was Santiago Canizares dropping the bottle of aftershave on his foot before the 2002 World Cup and having to miss the whole tournament. That's got to be up there.
Anything from you, Paul?
I've got an on-field injury. Dean Lonergan, when he played for the Kiwis against Australia, and it was early on in the Test match, and he was knocked out. He was out cold, and he was lying on the ground. And you know how a dog will sometimes involuntarily, if you're like scratching their belly, the leg will just start going like that.
Yes.
Well, Lonergan's leg was going like that as he was lying on the ground.
Who was rubbing his belly?
You'll have to ask him. But he got the magic water, and he got up and he played on. I mean, that wouldn't happen these days. That wouldn't be allowed. But he got up and played on, and I think the Kiwis won that Test match as well. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a few here. I'll pick out some of the best ones, and I'll start with golf. 1934 US Open.
Come on.
You'll like this. Bobby Cruikshank en route to winning his first major. He was leading on the 11th hole when a wayward shot bounces off a rock and onto the green. He's so happy that he throws his club up in the air, thanking the Lord, and it comes back down and hits him in the head and knocks him out cold. He has to get a couple of stitches, gets up, he plays on, and plays his final 7 holes 5 over and finishes third.
Well, that was
tough.
That was self-induced, unfortunately.
Yep. I don't know what our censorship is like here, but this one's pretty gruesome.
Let's see if we get it through.
Swiss soccer player Paulo Diogo jumped onto a metal perimeter fence to celebrate a goal.
Yes.
His wedding band got stuck and he ripped half his finger off. That would hurt. The great MJ, Michael Jordan, cut his finger on a cigar cutter.
He did like the cigars.
Missed the game and then came back the next night and scored 30. Typical MJ there. I like this one. Sammy Sosa sneezed so hard he sprained a ligament in his neck.
If you saw his neck, you'd understand.
It's a big neck. Kirk Broadfoot from the Rangers Football Club. He was poaching an egg and it exploded, putting scalding hot water into his face. He burnt his face.
That's not funny.
It kind of is.
That's not funny.
If you know Kirk Broadfoot, it's very funny.
Steve Sparks, a former Milwaukee pitcher, had dislocated his shoulder, dislocated his collarbone 15 times in his career.
Crikey.
One of which he did trying to tear a phone book in half.
Why would you want to do that anyway? I know they do that in the strongman competitions.
His mates tried to egg him on. I don't know.
Gee.
Derek Rose stabbed himself in bed. You heard this one? He was cutting an apple in
NBA
bed.
player.
Yep, cutting an apple in bed. Didn't stab, more sliced himself. Cutting an apple, put the knife down, got out of bed to get a drink, and then just ran and jumped back into bed, forgetting the knife was there, and sliced his arm open.
Okay.
Former Padres pitcher Adam Eaton accidentally stabbed himself with a pocket knife.
There's a lot of baseball players
in the stomach while he was trying to open a DVD case.
Oh my goodness!
Right, couple more. This is gross. Aston Villa player Darius Vassell got an infected toe when he tried to pop a blood blister with a power drill.
Why would you need a power drill? How tough was the exterior of this blood blister?
It's disgusting. Pat, I'm going to guess you'll be a big fan of this one. A Arizona Cardinals kicker back in 2001. Bill Gramatica.
Oh yeah, Automatica, Grammatica.
43-yard first quarter field goal,
Jumps up and down.
unleashing a fist pump benefiting of a game winner, and he tore his ACL.
Jesus. Oh.
There was a linebacker on the Lions who did the same thing a couple of years ago. I think there was an incompletion and he was celebrating tore his ACL, and I think it was called back for a penalty anyway. So Stephen Tulloch or someone.
Ouch. And finally, we'll loop it back to golf. Sort of. Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR driver, during a celebrity golfing event, instead of sitting in the cart, he was on top of the cart, lying down. The driver hit the berm and sent him flying several feet. He broke his left wrist, but luckily it was off season. He went on to win his second of 5 consecutive NASCAR Cup Series.
Happy ending.
Yeah. So those are some bizarre injuries. Have you had anything yourself, Paul, that's kept you out of the game, golf in particular?
No. Well, no, nothing.
Just alcohol induced.
No, there's none of that. It's just no. I can't recall ever missing a golf tee off time.
That's good. What about you, Pat? Any?
There was one rugby game where I was pulling up into the car park at Eastbourne, lovely a day out around the bays, of course. Went to pull on the handbrake in the car I was driving at the time and pulled all the muscles up one side of my back, putting the handbrake on. So it was about 3 weeks after that.
Unbelievable.
That's good. That's good. All right, let's move on. Paul, the Kiwis flying very high last week.
Boy, are they ever.
Lids, your girl Lids, T3, and Stephen Alker T3.
Now, if you watch Lids, it was one that got fair play to Brooke Henderson. She played very, very well the whole tournament. Only had to shoot even par in the final round to win by 1 from the American Schubert. But Lydia Ko,
She's 5 under the final round?
Yes. But she was going around nicely, I think, in the 3rd round. She had, what had she done? She picked up 2 or 3, I think, on the front 9, and she either got to it was either the 9th or the 10th, the par 5, and she pretty much duck hooked it off the tee.
Relatable.
And ended up with a double bogey 7, which just put a halt to her round when it was ticking along very, very nicely. So, if she can just tidy up, bogey avoidance, if she could tidy up that aspect of her game, crikey, she'd be winning them back to back. But good signs. She wasn't that far away. She, the putter wasn't really firing. There are a number of short to medium putts that just didn't drop for her. So
which isn't like Lydia.
No, her score could have been a lot better. So for her to finish in the tie for 3rd, only a couple shots back of Brooke Henderson, were good signs there. And I think the 5th and final major is not this weekend, but the weekend after. So she doesn't have to wait too long. Yeah,
we're not previewing it this week, but she's second favourite Scottish Open. Well, sorry, joint favourite Scottish Open, $11 with Jin Young Ko.
Jin Young Ko was in fact, she was paired with Jin Young Ko for I think the first couple of rounds. And Jin Young Ko sort of had a similar sort of tournament to Lydia. So, yep, good things happening for Lydia at the moment, and also Stephen Alker.
Yeah, Patrick, did you get up and watch Stephen Alker?
No, I actually saw most of the last round of the Evian. I thought that was a great final round. Probably the best setting in golf as well, I think, up on the hills there overlooking Lake Geneva. But didn't see a lot of the senior Open, though. It was mainly at Mars over in France.
anything to add on what Paul was saying around lids?
No,
Right.
not yeah. Like I mean, yeah, if she just those two doubles are just standard bogey, she's in a playoff, so that's going to be frustrating. But yeah, she's certainly going to be there or thereabouts. Got a pretty good links form, so one to watch the next couple of weeks.
You know, you double bogey a par 5. That's almost a 3-shot swing. You're
Yeah.
expecting probably birdie it, and
Especially
you
when
walk away with a double.
Especially when you're a pro. I get a shot on a par 5 and I double it, I'm pissed. So,
Oh, geez. There are occasions I get 2 shots on a par 5, but
I know, I've played with you.
wow.
It's tough. I haven't actually played golf for a long time.
Oh,
I haven't.
oh, gee.
Played once in like the last 8 weeks.
Oh.
It's starting to become a concern. All right, let's go quick look back at the Open Championship. It was a couple of weeks ago now, but it was the last preview we provided. So we'll just have a quick sort of review. And I'll go to each of you. Patrick, I'll start with you. What was your highlight of the Open?
Probably Rory chipping in from 10 on Saturday. That was awesome. Obviously, couldn't hold on it, which was a shame. But yeah, that when you have those Rory moments like that, you think back to 18 at Augusta, same sort of situation. It's always something a bit special when you get Rory really fired up. Yeah, that was up there. Cam was it 12 on Saturday as well? Just I don't know what he was doing. That was a highlight for different reasons. As someone who had muddy on him, just terrifying decision making. But yeah, no, the Saturday I think as a whole was an awesome round of golf. Thoroughly enjoyed watching all of that. But yeah,
He was that was Rory's only bunker he hit all week, and he holed out.
Maybe he should have hit into more bunkers on Sunday.
Indeed.
Yeah. Excuse me. What about you, Paul?
The first fairway, I reckon I could hit that fairway off the first tee.
So you couldn't in Poulter.
Yeah.
He did struggle. I thought Cam Smith's up and down on the 17th on Sunday was huge. I like the fact that you have 2 flags on basically the one green on a number of holes there, so you can understand why a round takes so long. It's because you're waiting for the guys playing the 4th green to putt off the 14th part of the green. I like the sort of quirks of the course.
Yeah, it is a very cool course. Tiger, for me, obviously didn't make the cut, but very emotional. Walking down the 18th there, always a highlight when Tiger's involved.
If you look at him, he would have just struggled just to walk the course. Forget about playing a golf shot. He really does look like he's in pain.
Doesn't look good, does he?
That second round was a real tough watch. There was a couple of shots there where he almost like pulled away before he got even through the ball, and he almost felt in pain just watching him.
But he played better than he did the first round. I've heard or read somewhere in the last couple of days that might have been an interview with Joe LaCava's caddy, that they're sort of getting together to work out,
map out
towards the end of the year, and he's going to play the Hero.
That's his tournament.
And then aiming to do 2 or 3 others sort of leading into Augusta next year. So we might see a little bit more of Tiger, but I guess it's all dependent on recovery.
I hope he's gets back as close to 100% health as he can.
Yeah, I agree. Couple of other highlights, as you say, Cam Smith, as someone who was on Rory and riding very hard for him on that last round, that up and down on 17 was the tournament winner for mine. 10, 12 foot putt for par, and it never looked like missing. I saw a video, they showed Rory had the same shot in a Dunhill Links a few years back, and he actually putted it into the flag was on the same spot, and he putted it into the bunker. It sort of shows how hard that shot was.
Just to get it close.
And Cam Smith's shot on 11 in the 3rd round, the par 3 there, pinned just over the bunker, and he's landed it sort of just past the pin and stopped it, you know, within sort of 4 or 5 foot. It was probably the best shot of the day on that hole.
Very, very hard to do.
Right before his meltdown on 12 or 13 or whatever it was, Patrick. Yeah, very good golfer. Following that, and we're going to get into LIV golf shortly, but I didn't enjoy that the media asking me about LIV, but I also did at the same time. Like, it was almost like LIV golf kind of got put on hold for a week, and we enjoyed the Open. As soon as he got the trophy, I was like, right, look what's happening in the LIV golf world. And I think someone asked him, you know, are you joining? And he blew up Deluxe, Paul.
Well, he didn't say yay or nay.
No.
No.
So, but what we did find out is how many beers the claret jug holds. Which, I thought that was brilliant. And I see a number of the Aussies all had a drink out of it afterwards as well.
And his caddy, Sam Pinfold, the Kiwi from,
the Kiwi
from Whitby.
Umu Burge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Thoughts before we move on, just on major season in general, Patrick? I personally think it's probably the best I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, no, there's been 4 awesome courses. Southern Hills and Brookline were both amazing as well. Yeah, we had great finishes. Obviously, JT at Southern Hills, the Fitzpatrick and Zalatoris going down the stretch of Brookline were both awesome. Whenever Rory's in the running at a major too, that's always going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it all. I think Fitzpatrick shot out of the bunker on 18. Brookline's probably going to go down as shot of the year, right? Major wise, struggle to think. Or maybe Scotty's recovery on 18 on Saturday night at Augusta to get back up on. Those are probably the 2 that stand out to me.
His chip in on the 3rd in the final round.
Yeah, true.
Disgusting. And as someone who was on the wrong side of that one too, filthy.
It's been a fantastic major, and throw in the players as well. It's been wonderful. I'm just happy to see Cam Smith pick up a nice major, throw it in the back. All good, because he has really been playing very, very consistent, very, very good golf this season.
He has. I'm just trying to find it. I can't work it out fast enough, but there was a graphic going around on social media showing you know, the 4 majors and who's been on the podium and winners. And I think Rory twice on the podium, Cam Smith twice on the podium, Zalatoris twice. That might have been it, but Rory had beaten 96 or 97% of players in the major fields this year and didn't win one.
I think of the players who made all 4 cuts at majors, Rory was about 15 strokes clear combined of everyone else, right? Something like that.
Wow.
That was the Open Championship that was the one.
It was. He just had to two-putted had every green and 2-putted every hole.
To be fair, he did nothing wrong.
Didn't lose
the final day.
Didn't lose it.
No. It's not like he shot a 5 over and handed it over.
No.
He played sort of as you should when you've got a lead like that, and like you say, the birdie putts just didn't drop.
Yeah.
And Cam Smith just had a ridiculous back 9 on the final day. So,
yeah. We were talking amongst the sort of boys group chat, and you know, it was a 2-horse race heading to that last round between Hovland and Rory, and then all of a sudden you get 2 more guys into the fray, and they weren't even in my considerations at all. So, Patrick, anything to add on major season? Or should we
No, touched on everything I think what we've wanted to. Yeah.
Well, we're going to touch on one more thing quickly, which I'm sure you'll be pretty happy about.
Yeah.
The results from the Open Championship, and Patrick took everyone in the field with all the bets. He had, what do we say, 19 bets, was it?
I think it was 24, wasn't it? Although Justin Rose was in a few of those and he was at late scratching. So
that's right.
Yeah.
But anyway, Patrick won. He was up $160 for the week winner. And that was because you had Cameron Smith, $10 on Cam Smith at 23s, and $15 on Cam Smith top 5 at $7. They were your 2 winning tickets there, so well done. I came in second. I lost $33. which is quite funny because I made a few hundred on my own account.
Well, why don't you share that with the punters?
It's actually a mixture of a few of these sort of put together. Just, but anyway, I had Rory top 5, 20 on at 375. Corey Connors, $10 on a top 40 at 250, and same with Adam Scott, $10 on at 270. So lost 33 there. And Paul, a
Wipe.
what's even there?
I had a wipe.
What's that?
That would be the major before the Open.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
No good. Went all in Matty Fitz and Louis. Fitzy looked good for a long time there. This is faded late on the last day.
He's becoming incredibly consistent as well, like sort of picking up these just under the radar top 10s at majors like he did at St Andrews. He was obviously right in the mix of Southern Hills too. So I think, yeah, I'm going to have to certainly reassess my Matty Fitzpatrick opinions going into 2023.
Well, monkey off the back with a major in the bag. It can sort of release the pressure and let you just perform as you probably should.
I'd love if he reassessed his shoe sponsorship. The sketches just don't do it for me.
Oh, gee.
But that's anyway. Let's move on to this week. We're going to look at the Rocket Mortgage Classic and then the LIV Golf Tournament at Bedminster. So we'll start with the Rocket Mortgage. And Paul, what are you looking for?
It's at the Detroit Golf Club North Course, which is just a hop, step, and a jump from downtown Detroit, Motown. It's, I guess, a parkland course, tree-lined. The greens are, I guess they're on the smaller side than the average PGA Tour tournament. So I'm sort of looking, with the golfers I've picked, I'm sort of having $1 each way, but I was sort of looking more for driving accuracy, greens and regulation, and putting. Oh, boy. What tournament don't you need putting, fair income?
Patrick, anything to add there?
Yeah, you're going to have to go low if you want to win this one, right? Like the 3 winning scores since the tournament started have been 25 under, 23 under, and 18 under. So looking at birdies or better, you definitely need someone who can get hot with the flat stick. So strokes gained putting and putting average, both key indicators. I have sort of tended towards guys who can whack it a long way, just with Bryson, Matt Wolf, Cam Davis, guys of that ilk finishing in podium positions over the first 3 instances. It certainly can help there. And then Donald Ross course form is probably, if you're looking at correlation courses, the way to go. You got East Lake for the Tour Championship, the Wyndham Championship. Yeah, that's another one. Pinehurst, if you're going back that far, and a Ronamink as well. So sort of other areas I've zeroed in on.
Yep, similar.
Sedgefield.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm back with you.
Distance, putting, approach play, course form, even though there's only been 3 tournaments here, birdie or better, birdie average, all of that. Low scores. Yeah. So with that, we will start with last time's winner. Patrick, who is your best bet?
One of the best golfers on the planet at the moment, Cameron Young, $17 in the market. He's 8th on tour for birdies or better this season, 21st putting average. He was T2 at the Sandersons earlier this year, which also is a nice course correlation form if you look into it. And obviously can whack the ball an absolute mile. 7th for driving distance this season. I think he led the field in driving distance at St Andrews a couple of weeks ago. So, and just been right at the point end of a lot of lead recently. So Cameron Young at $17 for me.
Was he first round leader at the Open?
Yeah.
Yeah, he flew out of the gates.
Incredible eagle on the last to play him second as well. T2 with Rory. If he wanted to make that birdie, he could have. But anyway, Paul.
Will Zalatoris. He is 1st in strokes gained approach, 6th in greens and regulation, 15th in driving distance. He was 2nd at the US Open and the PGA Championship. I hope he gets rid of that bridesmaid tag. But as well as those finishes, he's had a number of top fives this season. He has been one of the most consistent golfers without actually having picked up a PGA Tour victory yet. So this sort of lines up very, very well with his game, and just the fact that he is in such good form. I've had to go with Will Zalatoris.
Will Zalatoris is also ranked 15th on tour in driving distance, 17th for birdie average and 23rd birdie or better. I too am taking Will Zalatoris at $15. One that I sort of looked into, we're saying putting needs to be up to par, if you will, here. In the last 6 months versus the top 150 players in the world, he has gained strokes with the putter, which is huge for Willie Z. And then if you drill down to the last 3 months, he has gained even more strokes with the putters. So
if only that putter had been firing on the 72nd hole at
PGA.
Yes.
It's all right. We didn't tip him there. Or I didn't.
It only just shaved the hole too.
But we'll take Will Zalatoris at $15. It's my best.
Stuck in the middle with you, and I don't know what it is I should do.
Patrick, your next best.
Mid-tier, I'm picking a bloke who I don't think's finished in the top 10 at all this season, but that is because he's been out for most of it with injury. Harris English, $61. Obviously, class player, was in the Ryder Cup team last season, won plenty of tournaments last year. So we know on his day he's certainly capable of being right up there. He was 12th on tour for birdies or better last season, 12th also for strokes gained putting, 9th for putting average. He was top 12 at Eastlake 2 years ago in the Tour Championship in a much stronger field, shall we say, than what he's going to be coming up against here. Has a past top 6 at the Sandersons as well. Seventh in the field for strokes gained putting at the Travellers 2 starts back, which was just his 3rd start back from wrist surgery. So he looks to be sort of finding his game again. And at that sort of price, someone who's capable of being arguably the best golfer in the field, as good as the guys at the point of the market. Very happy to have a go at the $61.
Nice. Cool.
I'm going with Siwoo Kim at $51. He's got ridiculous form on Donald Ross courses, and in particular Sedgefield Country Club, where he has finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th in his last 5 starts at the Wyndham Championship.
Are we playing the Wyndham, are we?
It's a Donald Ross course.
Oh, okay.
I'll continue. He also bounced back to a bit of form with a top 15 finish at the Open Championship. So I'm happy to take Siwoo Kim. Boy, if there's someone who would like their putter to heat up, it's my good friend Siwoo.
He's always got a 3-wood there as a backup, which isn't too bad either. I'm not too sure who I'm going to take as my mid-tier here. Got a couple of them pretty keen on.
Kevin Kisner.
I do have him written down here, but I'll pass and I'll go with one that I've backed a few times of late. Chris Kirk at $41. He's in some pretty good form. He's at a T5 and a T15 in his last, and a T7 in his last 6 starts. He is the 8th best golfer in the field over the last 6 months, ranks 7th strokes gained tee to green and 10th off the tee, 37th in approach, 1st around the greens. Putting not great, which could be an issue. On tour, he ranks 37th in scoring average. He's 8th in total eagles and was T12 here last year and T21 the year prior. Chris Kirk at $41.
Looks like a long shot, baby.
Patrick, you're roughy.
The great man Harry Higgs, not in the best of form. That did look like he started to turn around a bit a couple of weeks ago. It was 11th at the Barracuda. Had a good opening round last week at the 3M where I did back him as well, and then he had a shocker on the 18th and then ended up missing the cut on the number. So not quite putting it all together, but he's certainly capable on his day. Obviously was 14th at the Masters or something this season and top 5 at the PGA last year. So can go big when he needs to. He's 30th for birdies on better on tour last year, and he's 50th for strokes gained putting this year, which actually not great in isolation, but consider his price, and a lot of those 49 blokes above him aren't playing this week. So, yeah, I think he's certainly capable. He was fourth on tour for putting average last year overall, so can get hot with the flat stick from time to time, and yeah, could run a race for us at 200s.
Yeah, nice. Paul?
Ryan Armour at $151. It comes in with some very, very poor form. Missed 4 cuts in a row. But he was fourth here in 2020 and doesn't mind Donald Ross courses either, having a top 8 and a top 4 finish at the Wyndham Champs. So Ryan, there's another guy I actually wanted to tip out, but he was paying just short of $100, so I couldn't. So I've gone with Ryan Armour, 151.
Who was it?
Danny Willett.
Oh, former Masters champ. I'm going Chesson Hadley at $111. Probably in close to the best form of his career at the moment, or best form he's been in a long time anyway. Made 6 straight cuts, 3 top 10 finishes at the Travellers, the John Deere, and last week's 3M Open. Versed the field in the last 6 months. He's 9th strokes gained putting. Last week he was 6th stroke gained putting, 26th in approach, and 32nd tee to green. Good chance to add to his first and only tour win this week, I think. Cool. It's PGA Tour done. Let's have a look at the controversial LIV Golf at Bedminster.
Now, before we get to the tournament,
Yes.
can we talk about what happens to the players who drop off as new players come in?
That, my friend, I don't know the answer to, but I believe there will be a relegation / qualifying tournament for the beginning of next year. So I'm guessing I've got the article open here, but I haven't read it completely. So I won't dive into it, but I don't know. I guess they play the Asian Tour events.
They're allowed to play DP World Tour? I'm pretty sure the DP World Tour, they don't have it in their constitution that they can actually ban players.
They tried to ban them in Scottish, and they got overturned. I don't know where it's sort of sitting at the moment. Patrick, do you have any knowledge on this?
Yeah, from what I can tell, they're going to have to play Asian Tour events if they don't. That's the only tour that's going to let them back in. So they better get very familiar with the accommodation and sort of your smaller Korean cities in the southern area of Japan, I'd say.
Be interesting.
Yes.
And it actually reports that Hideki Matsuyama has been offered $400 million signing bonus.
Every time my phone buzzes, I live in fear that it's going to be the notification that he's going to LIV. It's terrifying.
It's a lot of cash.
That's very hard to turn down.
Yes, even if you do not agree with the tour morally, that is a lot of money.
I think like it's underrated just what an absolute megastar Hideki is like in Japan and Asia, right? Like, if they get him, that'll
he
go a massive
he
way.
brings that chunk of the market with him.
And wasn't the talk that a couple of maybe Japanese-based sponsors were keen to jump on board as well? If they didn't get Hideki, they were going to pay some of the freight to get him along too. So you can see what they're doing there.
It's estimated that Hideki's net worth is $35 million.
10 times that, just to sign. To sign.
And he's a pretty good golfer, so he's probably going to win a couple of $4 million checks along his way too. That is insane. Would you do it?
Hypothetical. It's not there until you actually get the phone call. You can't really say, I'd do it or I wouldn't. So I'll put my phone number up at the end of the podcast just in case anyone from LIV Golf wants to contact me.
The LIV Golf podcast with Charles Barkley and Paul Mawari.
Well, I think they've picked up David Faraday. Going across. So obviously they've taken on board a number of I guess, suggestions or criticisms of their broadcasting, and they're sort of trying to up that. I wouldn't mind them upping their game in terms of their website. Crikey, it's
horrendous.
it's definitely not a golf website.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much sums it all up, right? Like the worst, the thing they put the least effort into in the whole organization, it seems like, is the actual leaderboard for the golf tournament.
Yeah. Interesting. Golf, but louder.
Yeah. Any concert on this weekend at the golf?
The Chainsmokers, who last played a concert at a golf tournament at Sawgrass in 2020, if you recall back to that.
The Chainsmokers.
Nice.
What genre are they, Patrick?
I don't know, like pop rock,
Indie?
I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Chainsmokers, look out. Let's preview this golf tournament. Paul, do you know what you're looking for, or what we're looking for at Trump
Someone who
National?
can smash the hell out of the ball. I want someone who gets it down the fairway along. And we've got a few, to be fair, there are a number of players in the field who absolutely smoke it. So
That's true.
if that's what you're looking for, you'll be able to find someone.
Yep.
We're at Bedminster, New Jersey. Donald Trump.
It is.
In fact, it was the course that was originally down to host the
PGA
PGA
Championship.
Championship.
He got taken off him after the
Game
attack
6
on the
at the civilized protest
Yes.
at Capitol Hill.
civilized protest. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I believe that's how they described it.
Okay.
But yeah, I really want someone who can
Somebody
smash
can
it.
pump it.
I wasn't sure what we were going to tip out here, seeing as it's such a compact field. So I've only gone
Yeah.
like a best bet and a mid tier.
Yeah, I've got I didn't even get a mid tier, to be honest. So I think we just tip out a few names. Patrick, anything to add on the course and sort of the type of player we're looking for here?
The little sort of additional information I can probably add is I've just tried to find guys who seem to actually care about winning these things and not just collecting paychecks, because I think there's a lot of guys who are just pretty happy with the signing on fees. So yeah, it's like tipping out college football bowls. It's a lot of motivation season sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff's quite hard to find, but I guess it's going to get better once like this thing isn't stopping anytime soon, especially if they get Hideki. So it will get easier. But yeah, like Paul said, distance is key. In the par threes, none of them are shorter than 180 yards, and the 14th is about 250 yards, which is huge. Par fours are all over 400 yards, and the par fives around the 600 yard mark. Course form at Shadow Creek, which held the 2020 CJ Cup, Quail Hollow, Wells Fargo, and Caves Valley last year's BMW Championship, are all Tom Fazio designed courses. So looking at form there here too. So anyway, let's rip into it. Patrick, well, I don't know what have you tried to divvy this up, best mid, roughy, or
Yeah, I have a best mid and roughy. I can't say I've got a whole lot of confidence in any of them, but there is a little bit of method to the madness at least.
Okay, well, let's start with you. You give us all three, and then we'll go to Paul.
Best bet, Jason Kokrak can wallop the ball a lot, loves a bit of money in his pocket, so he'll be chasing the top prize. First tournament over at LIV, obviously, but was playing some pretty decent golf on the PGA Tour before he made the jump. So at $23, I think he's as good a bet as anyone. I was tempted to go with Bryson at $10 just because I think sooner rather than later he's going to win one of these. Just, you know what the man's like. But yeah, I'll go Kokrak at twice the price for my best. Mid-tier, Sam Horsfield. Obviously beat Foxy home in Belgium a few weeks ago when he was still a member of the DP World Tour. I think he's been top 12 or so in both the events so far, so he does appear to be taking it reasonably seriously. He's like a golfer on the up rather than one of these sort of retirement tour ones who have jumped over. So I think, yeah, he's not going to completely switch off. So I think he's not a bad bet at $41. And then Don't know a lot about the man, but Eugenio Chikara at $111. Lot of hype coming out of Oklahoma State. I think he's been tearing up the college ranks. So, yeah, I mean, the sort of roughy segment of this market is just a real sort of who's who of what's your Japan tour form like sort of thing. So I think Chikara's probably got as much class as any of them at the triple figure price.
Yeah, it's not a bad guide, the Japan tour. Like I think from the London event we previewed, I can't remember who it was, but I picked someone who was in decent form, was either in the Japan tour or the Asian tour, and I think he finished T10, paying 150 odd. So, what on me?
Well,
Sorry.
yeah. Go, you good thing.
Paul, you got 3 names for me?
No, I haven't got 3, but
Okay.
I also did like Jason Kokrak, just pretty much for the same sort of reasons that Patrick pointed out. He can knock the ball down there a fair way, and he will be, I think, very motivated to pick up some victories. But so I'll go Bryson DeChambeau instead of Jason Kokrak. Obviously, we know that he does smack it down there quite a way, coming off a top 8 finish in the Open Championship. Looks like he's over his injuries that he had earlier on this season.
Latest on DeChambeau's health, probably 97 to 98%.
Oh, there we
There
go.
you go.
And we know he's figured out some sort of formula to get that number as well. He's not just pulling it out of thin air. So
Exactly. Ooh, numbers flying around. So yeah, Bryson DeChambeau for mine. And the first 2 LIV golf tournaments have been won by South Africans, so I thought I should actually look for a South African. And I didn't mind the look of Henny Duplessis down at $51. He's another one who can sort of put it a fair way down the fairway.
Stop.
Henny Duplessis.
Alrighty. You've both picked. I've got 4 names here, and you've both read out 2 of them. One of them, DeChambeau at $10. As you say, he was T8 at the Open. He was T10 at the last LIV golf event, Pumpkin Ridge. Can obviously pump it. Versus the field the last 3 months. Now these stats will start to disintegrate, I guess, as the stroke. They don't keep the stroke gain data for these tournaments, but last 3 months he's 14th stroke gain tee to green, 10th off the tee, and 12th around the green, 25th putting. He was 2nd at the BMW Championship last year, lost in that playoff to Patrick Cantlay, and he was T9 at Quail Hollow as well. So Bryson, I've also got Patrick Reed, $17, which I hate. But he was 3rd at Pumpkin Ridge. He was inside the top 50 of the Open. He's ranked 12th tee to green, 18th approach, and 8th around the greens, 10th putting. Versus the field, he was T6 at Wells Fargo. Jason Kokrak, as you said, Patrick, at 23s. He also won the 2020 CJ Cup at Caves Valley, which was a Tom Fazio design course there. And the other one, I thought he might be a little bit higher than this, but Matt Wolff at $29. He's had success on a lot of the same courses that Bryson has had success on. Detroit, Wingfoot, TPC, Twin Cities. He's obviously a shadow of his former self, but he was T8 at Pumpkin Ridge, and I'm sure he's taken a lot of confidence out of that. In the last 3 months versus the field, he's 8th strokes gained putting and 15th around the greens. So I think if he can keep the ball on the planet, then he will be in with a good look here at $29 for Matt Wolff. Oh.
Just look like things are still going on inside his head.
Are you even a golfer if that's not the case?
Is he allowed to withdraw from these tournaments when he's 7 over after 6 holes, like he made a habit of on the PGA Tour, or does he get a tap on the shoulder
not
from some?
He wants to,
Yeah,
I won't say that.
some burly man and carry on.
Yeah.
Wow.
We all know where we're going.
Yeah.
Right, just staking plan. You just shuttle your stuff down, mate.
Oh,
What's
keep going.
what's on this piece of paper?
Well, I wanted to add that power play.
Okay. Patrick, I'll start with you. You got $100 this week. Where is it going, my friend?
All right, we didn't preview the tournament, but I am having 3 bets on the Ladies Scottish Open. Minji Lee, $13 at 12s.
Love that.
Jun Gyun Lee 6, $5 at 71, and Maria Jatanagan $2 at 126. All 3 good ladies have great links form. I think they could be up the pointy end at Dundonald. Then over to Detroit, I will have $10 on Cameron Young to win the Rocket Mortgage Open, Rocket Mortgage Classic, whatever it's called, the tournament. $20 on him to finish top 5 at $5.50. Harris English 5 for the win and 15 for a top 10 at $8. Scott Stallings, $3 for the win at $61 and $8 top 10 at $7.50. Kurt Kitayama, $2 to win at 96 and $5 for a top 10 at 11s. And then finishing off the great Harry Higgs, $2 at 201s the win and $10 for a top 20 at $10.
Nice. Would you like me to go?
You go.
Okay. I've split I've got $50 each on PGA and LIV golf this week. $10 to win Will Zalatoris at $15. $20 on Zalatoris top 5 at $4.50. And then I found 3 power plays that I really like that all sort of keep a bunch of names that sort of caught my eye and that we've talked about here. So $5 on Patrick Cantlay or Will Zalatoris, first and second in any order at $61. $5 on Zalatoris, Cam Young, Keegan Bradley, all top 10s. Keegan Bradley's got very good course form here. That's $41. And then $10 on any 4 of Keegan Bradley, Sahith Theegala, Maverick McNeely, Adam Hadwin, and Chris Kirk, top 20, including ties at $15. I think I really like Maverick McNeely this week as well. Theegala's in great form. Yeah. And then we go to the LIV golf. 10 on Bryson, 10 on Reed, and 10 on Wolf, all to win at $10, $17, and $29. $10 on Bryson, first round leader at 15s, and then 5 each on Reed and Wolf, first round leaders at 21s and 26s. Paul.
20 to win, Will Zalatoris. $30 on a top 5 for Will Zalatoris. 20 on Danny Willett, top 10 finish at $11. And I like this power play. It's a $15 power play, and I'm putting $30 on it. Any 3 of Will Zalatoris, Keegan Bradley, Adam Scott, or Max Homer for a top 10 finish. Zalatoris, Bradley, Scott, Homer, any 3 top 10 finish, $15.
Nice. Nice. Now, that's it. Wyndham Championship next week. We may or may not be here. By the sounds of it, I'd say Paul's going to tip Siwoo Kim or Webb Simpson.
Webb Simpson.
Because he's got a daughter named Wyndham after this championship.
Indeed.
Yeah. But yes, and then the week following that, the FedEx Cup starts. So we will be back, if not next week, definitely for the FedEx Cup playoffs, the Northern Trust.
I guess we'll be talking about players on the bubble.
Yeah, yep. There's a couple of big names on the bubble at the moment.
In fact, is Webb Simpson the one right on the bubble right now?
He's last man in at the moment. Jason Day is last man out, first man out.
He's playing this week as well.
Ricky Fowler's
I did
there.
have a look at Jay.
So there's a few big-ish names up there. So yeah. Anyway, boys, Patrick, thank you very much. Go and rest up, mate, and watch plenty of sport. Not Patrick, Paul.
You mean do like a normal working day?
Yeah, just rest up. Paul, thank you. As insightful as always.
Wow.
And to all of you out there, thank you for listening, and we will be back when we're back on the Cut Line. Cheers.